Take a look at this story here. Rudd is a tank that has been helping the Great Heroes group in the toughest dungeons and mazes. However, his lack of understanding of how his powers work sometimes puts them in trouble. Because of this, the Tyrant Hero, leader of the group, expels Rudd and replaces him with two newbies. Rudd could be upset, but no, he continues his path, and soon he will discover how his powers truly work and make the sly hero pay dearly for dismissing him. And that's the beginning of this story we'll see today. Without further ado, let's go to the recap. The anime starts with Rudd's group being attacked by a giant golem. At this moment, Rudd explains how groups are formed, and each member has their role. In his case, he is a tanker, responsible for blocking and resisting monster attacks while his companions attack. The tanker role doesn't receive much spotlight, although it is one of the most important. We will follow the story of how Rudd went from being disregarded to becoming the protagonist of his own story. After that battle, Rudd went to the guild with his companions. Notice that he is making a strange face, and now we will find out why. Rudd is remembering his sister, whom he is completely obsessed with. While he daydreamed about hugging his sister, his teammate tells him to stop being weird, as other people are watching. He apologizes, and the girl asks if he was dreaming about his sister again, and he confirms. The girl suggests that it would be better if he started liking other things instead of always admiring his sister. Rudd asks what else he could like, and the girl suggests maybe romance, sounding a bit embarrassed. I don't know about you, but I think she's interested. Rudd then says that for him, it's impossible, as no one is more beautiful than Manisha, his sister. This makes her angry, but Rudd says he's serious. He mentions that he can't think of anything else right now, as his sister has an incurable disease. And he is after the secret treasure of the labyrinth, which is said to grant any wish to cure his beloved sister. But he mentions that after the embarrassing performance he had yesterday, finding the secret treasure might be very difficult. Rudd feels guilty for the other members of the group, as he failed. But Neen says no, claims he did his job very well and didn't receive a single attack. She also mentions that it makes no sense for Rudd to be losing his defenses. Rudd, in turn, says that wasn't the only time. In fact, he always has this problem. Every time they're battling, his defenses drop without him noticing. And that's why he consumes many potions and puts a lot of strain on Neen, who is the group's healer. And that's why he apologizes to her. But the girl says he doesn't need to apologize, as they've been able to fight until today thanks to Rudd, who always protected everyone. And also, his shield has almost 10,000 defense, simply the highest in history. She tries to compliment him, but at that moment, the hero, leader of the group, appears in the guild. He comes to talk to Rudd and apologizes for being late. But Rudd says it's not a problem. The hero says that now that everyone is there, he has something to say. He introduces two girls and says they will be the new members of the group. Neen doesn't understand, as the group can only have 6 people, and they already have 5. The hero nonchalantly says that's exactly it, they can only have 6 members, so Rudd is expelled from the group. According to him, Rudd only brings harm and is useless. Because of this, he recruited these two, who are dodge tankers, something trendy these days. Unlike Rudd, who, according to the hero, is useless and always loses his defenses when they need him the most. Neen continues to protest and try to defend Rudd, but the hero continues to retort, saying there's no other way, he already decided, and the two will be the new tankers of the group. Well, we already know he just wants 2 more newbies, and now there will only be women in the group besides him. Rudd, in turn, doesn't fight or get angry, he just accepts and leaves. But as he leaves, the scoundrel takes his sword and says that this is compensation for the previous adventure, which, according to him, only didn't profit because of Rudd. Now Rudd doesn't have his sword anymore, and he's left with only his shield. They start walking away, and Neen stays to talk to him. Rudd apologizes and says it was her who invited him to the group, and he's embarrassed for not being strong enough. Neen, in turn, says it's not true, as he always protected them. The girl asks if this is really a goodbye. At this moment, Rudd takes her hands and says he is going to his hometown, Avancia, to be with his sister, and if she wants, she can visit them someday. Emotionally, Neen accepts the invitation and says she will indeed visit one day. But soon, her Tsundra's side appears, and she says it's not like she will miss him or anything, and Rudd smiles. He tells her that he is looking forward to their reunion. After that, Rudd goes to look for a job to earn money and go to Avancia. The problem is that he no longer has his sword, which makes it very difficult. At this moment, Rudd begins to question whether the scoundrel hero was right about his abilities. Maybe they really reduced the absorption of his shield, and if that's true, it's the worst ability for a tanker to have. But unfortunately, he can't be sure, as there's no one around to evaluate his abilities. At some point, Rudd sees 3 adventurers taking an escort job. They are rank D, and they are going to Curus, a city beyond Avancia, which is Rudd's destination. Upon realizing this, Rudd quickly offers to join them on this job. The adventurers recognize Rudd and remember he was in the heroes group, and obviously, he is accepted, as he would have to be very strong to be part of that group. And so it is decided, Rudd joins them in escorting until they reach Avancia. They are on their way, dealing with monsters that appear. At some point, Rudd signals to stop the wagon, as he senses a presence ahead. Everyone is on alert, but Rudd notes that it's just a girl who seems to be weakened. He doesn't feel the presence of anyone else, which rules out the possibility of it being a trap. Rudd approaches and asks if she is okay. The girl is afraid and shrinks a bit. Rudd approaches again and says it's okay, and he won't hurt her. She decides to trust him, and she comes toward him. At this moment, a breeze hits the girl, moving her clothes a bit. Rudd notices that, besides that cloth, she isn't wearing anything else, and he sees a magic stone in the center of the girl's chest. But before he can think, a giant snake appears. Rudd already knows that monster, and its name is Forest Cobra. The other adventurers panic, but Rudd tells them to calm down. He says he will tank, and they should attack. The newcomers are scared, but Rudd manages to encourage them to fight. Fortunately, after an intense battle, they manage to defeat the giant snake. After that, Rudd goes to talk to the girl. He asks if she is okay, and she confirms. Rudd says that now that the monster that was chasing her is dead, what will she do? He asks if she has anywhere to go, and she replies that she doesn't. At this moment, Rudd asks if she wants to come with him to his home in Avancia. Quickly, the girl accepts. Rudd says she can't walk around like that, and soon the priest gives her clothes as a thanks for defending them from the monster. As she goes to change, the priest asks if she is a runaway slave. At this moment, Rudd starts thinking and says that the girl is a homunculus. Homunculi serve humans as slaves and don't travel alone, so he tells the priest that slave traders would hardly be in such a dangerous forest, and also, she isn't wearing a collar. Some time later, they reach the road to Avancia, and Rudd's deal is fulfilled. Now they will move forward, and Rudd and the girl stay there. Rudd thanks them and leaves with her. However, as they walk, the adventurers ask if he wants to join their group. Rudd thanks for the invitation but ultimately declines. According to him, he actually needs to find the secret treasure of the labyrinth. The adventurers explain that it's the one that can grant any wish to him, and there's also the technology to create homunculi. At this moment, they begin to talk about homunculi, and the girl in the group mentions that she doesn't like them much, since they lack expression and work too hard. Seeing that the girl he will take care of is getting sad, Rudd ends the conversation and starts walking away with her. While they walk, he talks to her. He asks if she has a name, but she responds that she has never been named. Rudd then thinks a bit and decides to call her Luna. This makes the girl very happy, and she thanks him. After that, night falls, and they camp and eat a bit. Rudd mentions that they should reach Avancia tomorrow, and she should rest. However, as they prepare, some wolves attack. Rudd is startled, but he's even more surprised to see Luna taking down the wolves with a dagger. Seeing that, Rudd now is certain that Luna is an illegally created homunculus. That's why she has wills and emotions that normal homunculi don't have. Due to her scared look, which reminded him of his sisters, he decided to take care of her. Luna returns and apologizes for the pan, which was damaged after one of the wolves fell on it. Rudd, in turn, says it's okay since they've already eaten. Rudd comments that she is very strong and might even defeat the snake from before. But Luna says no, and mentions that she's actually better with magic. Rudd asks what magical abilities she has, and Luna answers. She says she has an ability that enhances magic, another that is a support ability, and also appraisal. Rudd says he understands, but after realizing she has the appraisal ability, he is completely shocked. Because in that world, there were only 2 people with that ability, and one of them has already been dragged up. Now there is only one wizard, and he lives in a distant country. Luna having this ability is incredible, as it is extremely rare. Rudd asks if she can appraise his abilities, and Luna says yes. So, she does that. After evaluating, she says he has 4 skills, the first one called provocation. It makes enemies focus on him and attack. The other one is called Healthy Body, and it makes him immune to status effects like poison and bleeding, and also increases his natural healing. These 2 he already knew, the next 2 are the ones he really wants to know how they work. Luna then says the next one, called Life Conversion. This ability allows him to convert lost defense into strength. Rudd now begins to understand why he always lost his defense in battles. And lastly, there's the skill called Sacrifice Shield. It makes him transfer the damage his allies receive to himself. By protecting his companions, his and his allies' resistance increases. Rudd now fully understands everything that has happened so far, and he doesn't have horrible skills like everyone thought. On the contrary, his skills are perfect for a tanker. He just didn't know how to use them. Rudd smiles and says that he's been worrying too much about his skills. And now that everything is resolved, he feels great relief. Rudd thanks Luna and says she was a great help to him. The next day, he continues his journey and soon spots Avancia on the horizon. Rudd thinks and says he was kicked out of his group because of skills with unknown effects, and that's why he was treated as useless. But now he realizes that, in fact, he has the perfect skills to protect his companions. Now he can return to his sister with his head held high. But we'll see that in the next episode. Did you enjoy the start of this new anime? Then show your support by leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. I would be very happy. And for you who are amazing and stayed until the end, I've left an amazing video here on the final screen. It tells the story of Cain, a boy who goes from rags to saving 2 girls and is sent to another world. There he gains extremely absurd powers and smites all the evil that plagues that world. Click there on the screen and go check it out, it's amazing. I'm heading out, and until next time.